Your Majesty, members of the royal court, may I welcome you to the capital of my new kingdom, Robotropolis, a city of the future. Any final words for your subjects, sire?
You can't win this, Julian.
The name is no longer Julian. From this day forward, I am Robotnik.
It was an uneasy day at the Mario Brothers plumbing shop. Luigi was already having a rough day, having to handle everything himself. All those plungers, wrenches, and screwdrivers he made were not as good as the ones that his brother Mario had made when the business ran better. Luigi had already cut himself while building a new screwdriver. Trying very hard, he took things patiently and kept going. But he soon became nervous when Christopher Thorndyke stood at his door. He watched Luigi continue his business as the plumber grew uneasy when Chris began to stand right behind him. You seem to be having trouble. Need assistance?
No, thank you. I can prove to Mario that I can do this without him.
But don't you miss him? He had to return to the Mushroom Land and leave you behind to carry on the plumbing business. Don't you want him back?
I wish. But let me tell you, once you step foot into the Mushroom Land, you'll never be the same again. That mushroom aroma can really make a guy go crazy, or lean off to whatever adventure awaits. If there is one.
I kind of feel that way. I miss joining Sonic and whatever else is going on, whether it be battling Eggman or not.
Hold it! Hold it! Remember that part of the Mobius you made a while ago?
My grandfather was the brains behind the science. I finished it for him and tested it. I remember using it to enter Mobius, 6 years after Sonic went back to his home. The only problem was that it decreased my age as I entered the realm. Time on Mobius goes slower than it does here on Earth. 2 months in Mobius means 6 years here. Luckily, once I got back to Earth, I was my mature self again, so that should tell you that there are hazards for something like that.
Hey, what about the egg timer that Dr. Eggman created? It brought his younger self to the present, so why can't we use a little power from there? It is possible to combine it with the portal, right?
As crazy as that sounds, I like to see that happen myself. Alright, I'll give it a shot. Later, Christopher led Luigi to his mansion, where the special portal still stood in his laboratory. Dr. Eggman had left his egg timer in Chris's lab after he had used it for its purpose. Chris was able to connect the correct wires that led from the Mad Genius's contraption to his portal. Perhaps it would allow him to enter Mobius and keep his current age. Everything looks to be in order. I set the correct coordinates, and yet I still have my doubts that this will work.
Don't lose hope too soon. Let's do this. Yahoo! It worked! We're here! And we're unaffected!
If only Helen was here to see this. She would surely love the beauty of this realm. But Earth is our home sweet home.
Ah, yes, but Sonic shouldn't be far. Let's go find him.
Meanwhile, many miles away, the evil scientist Dr. Eggman witnessed his 2 comrades, Wario and Waluigi, in a strategic game of chess.
It doesn't look like he's interested anymore.
I am. It's just that I'm also trying to think at the same time of a new stratagem against Sonic and those freedom fighters.
Why think about it alone? You can't do anything without us. We were so close to succeeding the last time we joined forces. Why don't you play the next game and improve your mind? What there is of it.
You fool! Was that a purposeful insult?
Just saying.
I am a genius with an IQ of 300!
But a close inspection on the chessboard suddenly stopped Eggman where he was, as a new idea hatched in his brain.
The way each side of the board is set in a very unique way. Imagine my robots guarding a new fortress as heavily fortified as a true medieval castle. With you two as my bishops, and I, the king! What an inspiration it is! All robots, begin construction of the new fortress!
Later, at Knothole Village, Tails sat on his bed, thinking nervously about the idea he had not too long ago. Courtney, princess of the deceased realm of Corlin, had been hiding under his bed every night ever since she had left her former master, Prince Cobra of Strago. She had no place to go but here. Tails had not yet told anyone about the story, about how he met Courtney after she ran away from the threatening one. He at first thought it would be a brilliant idea to take her in, if she could take the Freedom Fighter Oath. But he had forgotten the oath, and he could not access the private files which contained it. The correct document was locked in Sally Acorn's room, and there it would stay out of the enemy's hands. Tails began to wait until the proper day, when he would fully introduce Courtney to his fellow freedom fighters. Perhaps then would be when Sally would bring out the important document in which the oath was contained. Tails could not keep this a secret for long.
What do you want, Sonic?
I just came in here to wish my little bro goodnight.
Please don't suffocate her! I'm sorry. I kept this a secret this whole time.
I knew something was up. You've been hiding someone here this whole time.
Please don't tell Sally. She won't understand.
Hey, quit worrying, Tails. Everything will be just fine. Your friend only needs to take the Freedom Fighter Oath and she'll be one of us. Why didn't you ask for it before?
But I've forgotten the oath. How will I know?
Relax, Tails. Sally and I will handle things. Now, perhaps if your friend can finally come out from under there.
I'm here.
So there you are. Tails, you should have said something before. You'll both be fine, I promise. Good night.
After Sonic left that room, he saw Luigi and Christopher enter the village. He greeted them warmly, rejoining forces that stood against Dr. Eggman and foiled his schemes.
This isn't all that they came here for. I'm also looking for my bro, Mario. Feel like he's left you behind? Life at the plumbing shop just isn't the same without him. You can't call it the Mario Bros without both bros in the picture. Well, come on in for a surprise.
Sonic led the two men into the main dining hall of the small village, where at the table sat the man Luigi had searched for.
Mario! You're here too?
Princess Peach allowed me to leave the Mushroom Land for this particular mission. Sonic needs my help investigating the new fortress Dr. Eggman has been constructing lately. I'm glad you came to join us, Luigi.
Hey, what can I do without my little big brother?
I see you're still one of a kind.
Back at Dr. Eggman's fortress, an intruder had broken into the private area where the mad genius kept his best projects. The diabolical Prince Cobra approached the portal that Eggman had forgotten about for all these years until now.
Somebody stop him! He's about to use my portal that leads to the Zone of Silence!
Is that bad?
I threw the former king of Mobius in there at the end of the Great War. The memories are coming back to me now.
No matter how long it takes, Julian, I will stop you.
Courageous words, sire. But where you're going, that won't be possible. Open the void. Impressive, don't you think? Be sure to give Naugus my regards. He's the sorcerer who invented it, and, your new neighbor. Safe journey, sire.
You'll regret this, Julian! You'll regret this!
Now that intruder is using the portal for his own purpose!
Oh no! Shoot him down!
Quick as a fox, Cobra entered the portal and quickly shut its doors to prevent anyone from following him and interfering with his mysterious plot. His eyes first caught sight of the wizard known as Ixis Naugus, who had been Dr. Eggman's mentor back in the days of the Great War on Mobius.
What do you want with me?
I wish to speak to His Majesty. Will you please take me to him?
Are you mad? No one may leave this void. He who leaves will be crystallized, if no return is done in time.
I am no weakling like the rest of you mortal Mobians. I demand to see the king now. I have an offer he would want to hear.
Naugus led Cobra through the void to find the one he had sought. They finally found the very king of Mobius. They found King Maximillian Acorn.
This strange man insists upon seeing you.
Leave us. Your Royal Highness, it is an honor to meet you at last.
Who are you?
I am Cobra, Prince of Strago, and I come to be of assistance to you. If you assist me, I will reward you handsomely by giving you what is rightfully yours. I will give you back your kingdom, your throne, and your loved ones, like your daughter. I also guarantee that you will have your revenge upon your former friend, Julian Cantober.
How do you know all this? How do I know I can trust you?
I have just the correct Stragon potion that can prevent us from being crystallized. You must help me track down one person of interest to me. The Corlonian girl Courtney was once my apprentice, until she betrayed me and sided with the enemy. She must be disposed of. If you help me hunt her down, I will hand you back your kingdom as promised.
Well, if you are willing to do so, I demand you give me the potion now.
Absolutely.
After drinking the potion, King Max followed Cobra out of the void and back into Eggman's lab. The three wacky mustached villains stood by in shock, seeing how easy it was for one to enter and exit the zone of silence, with no consequences.
Give us one of your ships. The king needs proper transportation.
Eggman allowed Cobra and Max to pass through the halls and head for the hangar. As they walked past the mad scientist, Max did not recognize him at all. How things had changed so much ever since Eggman's Doomsday Project had been destroyed, along with Robotropolis.
Sonic and Sally won the first round with the Power Stones. And he and Christopher won round 2 with the Chaos Emeralds. But now, this is round 3. And it is going to be a whole lot tougher of a challenge for him. My sworn enemy.
Cobra and Max later arrived at Knothole Village, where many familiar memories came to the mind of he who was once the mighty monarch of Mobius.
I remember this village.
Indeed. I'm well aware that, years ago, your wife left your daughter and her fellow freedom fighters here.
Rosie, is she still alive?
None can say, I'm afraid. Come, I will help you find your daughter. You can find her at least.
Inside Tails' room, Courtney overheard what was happening outside. She crawled out from under Tails' bed and looked out the window to see who had once kept her as an apprentice.
Oh no! What is it? Who's out there?
The one man whom I fear.
Cobra is out there?
Yes. I don't know how he found me.
You shouldn't be afraid now, Courtney. My friends can help drive him out. But who's that other guy with him? He kinda reminds me of someone.
See that crown on his head? He must be of authority.
Did the king come back? Sally!
Shh, get down!
Sorry.
I hate to do this, but I'm going out there to fight him alone.
What?
I'm sorry, but you can't come with me. I don't want anything happening to you.
You can't go out there alone. That's gonna worry me even more.
I don't want to be responsible for anything that might happen to you. I need you here where you can be safe. Please, Tails. If anyone's going to make a sacrifice, it's going to be me. I'm doing this to protect you.
That name. He mentioned my daughter. I'm getting closer.
We've talked enough now. Courtney!
It's been a long time. I know you want to strike at me so badly. Go ahead. but you will not harm these innocent people.
Innocent! Don't make me laugh. You're just as guilty as my father.
Tails watched the fight from up in his hut, his eyes widened in horror as Cobra already reached closer to gaining the upper hand. Cobra's sharp sword cut Courtney in every way possible. Courtney tried very hard to strike back with whatever she had, but she was not as skilled as she was before. Her love for the innocent and for Tails seemed to have changed her fighting abilities.
She does not remember the techniques I trained her in. This makes things easier for me, but I must stand by for the king's sake first. Now, your majesty, finish her!
Cobra handed Max his sword to finish the job. Doing such an act would end the race of the Corlonians. Max was ready to plunge the sword down and do what Cobra had prepared for him to do.
Stop! Don't hurt her!
A two-tailed fox. Could he be little Miles, son of Amadeus? He's grown up so fast. If he finds Courtney as his friend, then something must be out of place here. I just stood there, watching Cobra beat the innocent girl. Perhaps he is the real enemy, fibbing only to fulfill his desire and leave me with nothing. It was a trick.
What are you doing? You're supposed to be my ally!
No! Evil one! You deceived me! I demand you leave now, monster!
You will pay for your stubbornness.
I am terribly sorry about your friend. I did not know what Cobra had brought me into at first. You're what stopped me from performing the rest of the evil act. You're the son of Amadeus Prower.
I never met my dad my whole life. But my friends take care of me now. Sonic, Sally, and the others have done their best, and they still do great about it today.
I knew I could count on my little girl. Show me. I must see her.
Sure. But I should also introduce you to some new friends.